Now, they're right to ridicule and dismiss anyone with a different take, based on all that other unmentionable evidence as tinfoil conspiracy nuts. It's pretty clever, actually. Never mind that the term conspiracy theory itself was coined by proven scammers. And of course, we all believe exactly the same junk, like alien abduction and whatnot. Anything and everything on YouTube. So it's right just to go ahead and lump us all together in the same crazy room where everything other than what they want us to think lives. That's not presumptuous at all. Or offensive. I mean, it's not like we could just be trying to make our own contribution to a blind society, unpaid I might add, impotently jockeying away on our keyboards for nothing but a few likes and streams of abuse by weekend trolls, laugh emoji wankers and other far more intelligent bogans than ourselves. No, we deserve all the scorn we get. Ironic in a way that tinfoil is actually the only effective barrier to 4G, signals that have recently been multiplied 100-fold in intensity to buffer the more specific 5G. Not a chance that vast soup of information we're now swimming in, the equivalent of hugging your wireless router to your chest 24/7, could have any impact on human body, because it doesn't ionize or whatever, like they never found anything on phone radiation either. Even though no human health studies were done on it by telcos, and hundreds of scientists warned long ago that there's every possibility it's an extinction event. Why? Because it's so vital to the race to totalitarianism between your various friendly surveillance states. But hey, no biggie. Your downloads will be a bit faster for a while. Yep, tinfoil has never been more relevant. And anybody who even knows anything on this and all these subjects, apart from a wafer narrow science boffin perspective, must be a nut. Hey, did you know that at the end of World War II, the Holocaust was still being called a conspiracy theory? Yeah. Less than 1 in 10 people believed in it in America. Even though many had known and sounded the alarm for about 10 years. There was this guy actually, not even Jewish, who smuggled himself into Auschwitz to get evidence. And when he actually escaped and got it out, still nobody believed it. What a dick. I guess people are just hard to convince, especially when the authorities and media just keep saying the opposite. I mean, you can't even trust your own eyes anymore. But of course, I'm not siding with every way out theory there is out there. Now there's a big kerfuffle over the CDC supposedly admitting that only 6% of COVID deaths were from it alone. Although that's not accurate, and it's really important not to embrace much of the really fringe conspiracy stuff, which can be inflammatory just for the sake of being combative or increasing political obfuscation. And the reason is that on a doctor's chart, it's normal to include all the conditions like respiratory failure or pneumonia that happen only in association with the condition in the process of dying. So most cases of pure COVID, in fact, were probably just oversights or laziness. I mean, sure, when there are big pharma financial incentives to list it as the cause of death, there have been some absurdities like counting it for car crash victims, but that doesn't make it all bunk. But either way, the presence of an average of 2.6 comorbidities shows what we already know, that in the vast majority of cases, they were on their way out anyway. Sad and regrettable for sure, but still, no reason whatsoever for shutting down, impoverishing and imprisoning the entire world. So why not a health campaign instead of a fear and stress campaign? Because all this has very little to do with health. And they could just release another one anyway, since they've been dicking around with these viruses in labs, in joint efforts, by the way, between the countries publicly now arguing over who did it, even releasing studies on them for years. All overseen by the delightful Dr. Fudgy, who's had a very dark history in this and the AIDS saga of suppressing good research and sponsoring diabolical research, and yet now is the face of the whole thing. I mean, the gall of these people and how brazenly they take us for fools. Does that bother you at all? It does me.